As for a little lunch break special. Um, Yesterday was Juneteenth, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Some things went down in South Carolina. Um, I'm just gonna just kind of talk about uh, that situation just a little bit. But first, before I do anything, let me give you some important facts. Because let me just say this: I'm not mad at anybody if you don't know for sure what it's all about. But I do get upset with people that try to make a joke out of it. They try to make it like it's like it's not important. Like I don't like that. And I ain't gonna say that I'm gonna get mad at you. I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna pray for you. But for the people that didn't know, like I'm not mad at you if you don't know, if you didn't know or whatever. So let me tell you, let me see, let me get you up right here so I can kind of talk to y'all. Y'all bear with me. I'm out here in the car. I was gonna go outside, but man, it's hot. It's so hot out there. Um, you probably can fry an egg. I'm trying to find a good spot. All right, sit you right there for a minute, and let me just read this. Some quick facts about Juneteenth. All right. One thing. All right. The significance is the emancipation of enslaved people in the United States. Okay, it's a federal holiday. It just became a federal holiday recently by President Joe Biden. He made it a federal holiday, and uh, black people and all people, not just black people, celebrate with festivals, parties, parades, and church services. The event usually lasts for the whole day. So, one thing about me, and I ought to be ashamed of myself, but I'm gonna just throw myself out there, put myself on blast. I wasn't so familiar with it. Maybe I learned it in school, learned about Juneteenth in school, maybe, but I'm not sure. I didn't remember. I really didn't think about it too much until maybe a few years back when I started hearing more about it. So that's why I say, like, if you don't know, like, I understand, but the problem that I have, the situation that went down, the young lady was in a repair shop where some white folk was talking about being off, or the banks or whatever being closed, and not knowing why, right? And one of them said something about Juneteenth, and anyway, they began to laugh and joke, and one of them, I think, said something about reparations or something like that. Like it was just a big joke to them. It was a big joke, and I really didn't appreciate that, and a whole lot of people didn't appreciate that because number one, the woman told them to go get her daggone car out of that shop, and that she was leaving because she felt disrespected. And I say kudos to that woman for standing up for herself, because many people would have just sit there with their mouth shut and just been angry inside as those people were sitting around and making a joke out of that situation. A lot of people would have just dealt with that. And the fact that allegedly the company was the one that leaked the videotape online or whatever like that, it just brings me back to it's two things that I can think of, and these are some of the things that's going on out here that's really bothering me. Um, if they did leak that tape, they was expecting one or two things. They were expecting, well, I ain't gonna say one or two things. I think if they leaked that tape, I think they were expecting to be praised in what they was saying and doing and how they was making a joke about things. And the reason why I say that, now this is my opinion, like I don't know. I don't know who leaked the tape. I don't know. Everything is alleged as far as I'm concerned, but I know the people have spoken. I know that much. But it takes me back to a previous situation that happened where a white female was inappropriately talking to, from what I hear, a handicapped black little kid, calling him the N-word, and she was celebrated. She was celebrated when that person put that stuff online, expecting, for people to be, I guess, like disappointed or upset about like why she talking to a kid this way like this. She was celebrated. She started a GoFundMe and raised over $1 million. As if it wasn't over $1 million, it was close to $1 million. And I feel bad that this is the society that we're living in, where people are profiting over the demise of other people. Now let me say this. Slavery, like once upon a time, I recall in my life where it was talked about a lot. I don't know if it's because I'm down south, people don't really talk about the past like that. But me personally, I don't harp on things of the past. I have seen black people become more educated, more prosperous, and like I know that it is still some forms of racism, some forms of discrimination, but I don't hold people accountable for what people done years ago. That's me. Now the people that we have now that's still participating in this discrimination, in this racism, like it does bother me. It bothers me. But what I'm trying to do is not get upset about it, just to pray about the situation like that. Because I feel like people are misguided, uh, miseducated, maybe. A lot of the behavior that we see now is learned behavior, and I talk about that in some of my other videos along the lines of other topics. But a lot of people were brought up to be that way, were brought up to be evil, and I think it's a sad thing. I have been racially profiled. I have been discriminated against, but I'm not upset with the next person because of what that person has done to me. Like, I'm not going to hate or be upset with a whole race of people because I had a disagreement with one person. Like, this is part of our problem as a society. Like, it's if one black person do something, it's the whole race. If one white person do something, it's the whole race. Mexican, the whole 9 yards. And it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be this way. But I'm gonna tell you about something that happened to me. I can tell you about two things. One time where conversations like this was going on around me, and I didn't say nothing. Let me get over here where I see y'all good, because the glare is messing with me over there. One time it was a conversation where, matter of fact, I can tell you exactly when it was. It was when George Bush was voted into the office. Um, when it was a big mess between him and the other guy that was running for the office. I can't think of his name. Gore. It was a big mess with the voting and all that stuff like that. And I was working this job, and I came in, and a couple of white guys was standing around talking. One of them was the owner of the company, and they was just laughing and just I didn't think nothing of it. I was just going in there to go to work. So the owner called me over. He said, "James, did you vote?" I said, "No, I didn't vote. I didn't vote this year." He said, "Well, it's probably best you didn't, because your vote probably wouldn't have counted anyway." And all three of them, they laughing. They thought that was a big joke. And I didn't think it was that funny. But I didn't take it that serious where I felt like, I'm gonna quit the job, or like, it bothered me, but it didn't bother me that bad. But it did bother me. Now, on the other hand, we had a situation in South Carolina where, oh, y'all hearing this thing, mother. I'm trying to keep the air conditioning down a little bit. We had a situation where it was a police shooting in South Carolina, where the young man ran away from the police, from the car, and the police wound up shooting him in the back and killing him. And that does bring back painful memories. No, I've never been shot at, but I have been chased by the police, and I have seen people get beat up by the police, stuff like that. So I understood why this guy was running away from the police. A lot of people are afraid of the police, and it didn't used to be like that. It didn't. When I was growing up as a kid, it was not like that. We had officer friendlies. Like, we thought police officers were like friendly, community, helping. That's what we thought of the police. But as I got older and I started seeing a little bit more, like it started, becoming something different than what I was raised on. But let me tell you what happened. My girlfriend goes to, before she started doing home dialysis, she would go to the center, and I would take her to the center. And in the morning, I would go over to the McDonald's and get breakfast. So I used to sit over there by myself, like, every time she go to the treatment, and I get me some breakfast. And then one day, like, it was these group of white guys over there. They seemed cool. When I come in, they had got used to seeing me or whatever. They would speak, say hi, whatever, like that. So one day they invited me over there, said, "Come and sit over here." So I said, okay. I thought they was cool. I thought they was good people. So I sit over there with them, and everything was good. But it was one of the guys, like, we started going through the Confederate. This when things started changing. When they started removing the Confederate flags in South Carolina, I started seeing a change in this one guy, and one of the white guys. And the biggest change was he pulled up at the McDonald's one day with a great big old Confederate flag on his antenna of his car. I was like I really didn't know that he, not saying that I don't know. I just started seeing a change in his attitude. So he got the Confederate flag, Somebody saw his car parked one day, not there, but somewhere else, with that Confederate flag, and they tore that flag off there along with the antenna. So after that, he started carrying a gun. I started noticing he started having a gun on him. I was like, I'm, you know, I'm thinking like I'm about to start, getting on away from it, cause I'm not feeling good about my surroundings. But it was another lady that they knew that would come in there every once in a while, and she'd grab breakfast or whatever. It was something off about that lady from the beginning, because she would come over there and she would speak to everybody but me. But it was nothing. Like, okay, you don't want to speak to me, that's fine. You don't know me, okay, I ain't mad. But when that shooting went down, where the police officer shot that black man in the back, she came over there and she sat down that day. And she said, he must have been guilty. Why would you run if you didn't do nothing? You deserve to get shot. You running from the police. When she said that, that was the first time that I wound up having a conversation with her, because I could not sit back and let her keep talking that nonsense the way she was talking, and it's not reality. I told her, I said, you know what? I said, maybe you have kids. I don't know your situation, but I'm going to tell you, I can bet my last dollar that none of your kids had to run from the police. But I'm going to tell you my experience. There was a time where I had to run from the police, and it wasn't because I did something. It was because if I didn't run, they was going to run me over with their car. It was a game to them to chase us with their cars and try to run us over. We had to run. And for you to come over here and sit and blame that man for being killed from running from the police with no weapon, that's an insult. That's an insult. And I think that's mean and hateful. Like, and I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it. And I feel like you're stereotyping people also. So she just rolled her eyes, and then she got up and left on away from there. But after that point, I stopped sitting over there at the table, because nobody defended. It was like everybody was, not participating in the conversation, but nobody was objective to what this woman was saying. So that was the last time I took time and sit over there at the table with them guys. Like, I spoke with them, I spoke to them, but I stayed in my own lane and stayed by myself, and that was that. But it comes a time. The point that I'm making, you can't let everything get to you, because you're going to have some ignorant people out here. And if you let every ignorant thing that people say or do affect you, like, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying somebody put their hands on you or something like that. You know what I mean? I know some people feel a certain way when people say the N-word to them or whatever. I have experienced that, and I don't know. My mom taught me something. Like, kids used to tease me when I was little, because I didn't have things. I didn't have clothes and stuff like other kids, and I had a problem with my vision. I had big old thick glasses, like, so I got teased. And my mom told me not to worry about what the other kids say. If they got a problem with the clothes you wear, tell them to buy you some more. Words don't hurt nobody. This is the stuff that I was taught growing up as a kid, and it kind of stuck. It kind of stuck with me growing into an adult. Like, she always told me, like, unless a person put their hands on you, ignore them. You know, and I know that's hard. I know it's hard for people. Like, everybody can't handle somebody calling them an inappropriate word, you know, or talking to them any old kind of way, or disrespecting them. You know, people feel disrespected when people do and say things like this. Me personally, like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't care for it. And I may even get a little bit angry about how or what they doing or what they saying or whatever like that. But I'm not going to allow people's ignorance to take me off to a place that I don't need to be. I'm not going to do that. You know, like I said in previous videos, I've had a couple of situations where I've gotten on here on live, and y'all know that most of the people that you know watch me know that I have vision problems. So I see y'all comments and stuff up there now. And I don't see them, but I see it floating up here. But I'll talk to y'all in a minute. But a lot of times I used to have to go to another source so I can look at the comments and, you know, do my shout outs or whatever like that, where I can kind of blow up the screen, because like I said, I don't want to be all close up on the screen trying to figure out who's saying what. But I've had people come on live and writing that N word out on my screen. You know, the way I feel about that, I feel like what you doing, number one, you making a butthole out of yourself. And two, like, I surely hope that you don't have no kids when you, like, you don't have nothing else better to do in your life but to go on somebody's channel where they're live and they're doing some positive, just talking, this positive, and you decide to come on and be like that. Like, I just don't understand the mentality of people to be so evil. And what I really don't understand is for some of these same people to say that they serving God. What God are you serving? I ain't no judge, but I'm trying to figure out what God, what Jesus are you serving, that you sitting and you think that it's okay for you to discriminate against somebody different than your skin color. Because Jesus didn't stand for that. God didn't stand for that. God created all of us in his own image. So why do you feel like one race is better than another? Like, no, I don't agree with that. And I don't associate with people that, you know, discriminate or just have a problem with somebody else just only because of their skin color. Like, that ain't right. But, you know, yesterday was the actual holiday, and I saw the clip that was going around, what happened in the shop. I don't know what kind of shop that was, but I think she was getting some kind of service done to her vehicle. I saw the video. Then a family member sent me the video, and I said, you know, a lot of people are out, they're celebrating, you know, they're grateful, they're happy. It's a happy day for certain people. I'm not gonna, you know, talk about nothing negative on that day. I'm just gonna let the day be, because that was negative enough. And I don't think what I'm saying is negative. I'm just, you know, giving my opinion about that particular situation and situations that I've been through myself. And all I want is for us to be unified. You know, all I want is for the best for you, and I will hope that somebody will feel the same way about me. That's how I feel. I'm not hating on nobody. Matter of fact, I had a YouTuber that started around the same time I did, and we met. Well, we didn't meet in person, but we saw each other on one of the bigger YouTubers platform, and we followed each other. And we both was starting out about the same way, and he went another route. You know, he had different material than I have. And the last time I saw him, like, he had over 10,000 subscribers. Like, and we've started around the same time. Like, I'm not upset with him, and he's a white guy. I'm not upset with him. I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him. I wish more people can just be happy for each other and just support each other versus sit and find ways to try to bring each other down and try to hurt each other and just try to be negative towards each other. You know, I heard something on the news last night, and I don't really like to speak on topics like that, but I heard somebody in a top office was asked a specific question about Juneteenth and about what they think about it. And their response was, we got too many paid holidays as it is. I believe he said something like something got to be done about it or something like that. Like, basically from what I gather, he felt like Juneteenth is an unnecessary holiday. You know, I just shake my head, man, because, you know, people just don't care about how hurtful things that they say and do, how hurtful it is to other people. Like why would you say that? Like, you know, one thing my mom used to say, if you don't have nothing good to say, don't say nothing. I remember all of those teachings that the older folks used to tell us when we were younger. And I'm seeing it all. And I took it. And I learned from it. Now, that's not to say that I ain't never come out my mouth the wrong way. Because sometimes when you're angry, it comes. You know, it's something that you have to train yourself. You have to train yourself to not be so over the top, so responsive to, you know, things, especially when you're dealing with ignorant type situations. Like, you have to kind of humble yourself and, you know, not take everything so offensively, even though it is offensive, but not to allow yourself to go off because of what somebody has said, you know. But listen, I support anybody, everybody, you know. I want us all to win. I pray for us all. When I pray, I don't go pray just only for black people in America. I pray for everybody. I don't just pray for America. I pray for the world. We all need prayer. You know, we all need help in some kind of way. We all need encouragement in some kind of way. You know, so I ain't planning on being on here long. I just wanted to make this. I was gonna do it today at 7 o'clock, but you know, I already have another live that I'm supposed to talk about tonight. But I just wanted to speak on this thing, and I just wanted to be a little quick lunchtime thing that I was going to talk about. But I would like, if I had my way, I would like for us all to be supportive towards each other. You know, I would like for people to help each other instead of try to kick each other down. You know, if I had my way, if I could change things, This is what I would like, what I would prefer. You know, I'm not upset with nobody. I'm not hating on nobody. I'm not mad with nobody behind what happened in the past or anything like that. I just want us to be better as human beings. I just want us to treat each other better as human beings. So I encourage each and every one of y'all that's on this, listening to this message, just to be kind to one another. Regardless of what he doing or she doing. You know, have a heart. You know what I'm saying? Have a heart. Like some people, they go along with, and that's not just white people, black people, all races. Some people will see things that's wrong and they just go along with it. And you know it's not right. Just like I said about them guys at that table. That woman was sitting there and just talking that mess. And even when you don't say nothing, you going along with it. If you sitting in a group of people that's sitting there talking that negative stuff, I don't care what color you are, racist, like, how you helping? How you helping if you sitting quiet? Like, everybody feel like you okay with it. Like, I've had a situation, I'm gonna say this real quick, where I came across a couple of people down south where I'm living now, where they have a problem with white people. And it's basically because of what they went through growing up themselves. They actually experienced different things. And I just try to encourage them, like, to forgive, like, and not to put everybody in the same category, because they looking at some of the young people, they're going 17, 18, 19, and they're feeling a certain way towards them. And those kids not even on that stuff. Those kids, they running around, they having fun with black kids and with other kids. Like, they're not even thinking about that. But you got people that's been scarred from in the past is showing discrimination and stuff towards those people. Like, listen, we all accountable for our own sins. We all accountable, and it's none of us no judge. None of us have the right to say that we better than anybody else. We all have one God when it's all said and done. Our Father in heaven, Jesus Christ. And when it's all said and done, we all gonna have to go and be accountable for our sins. But let me see if I can see anything. I'm out here by myself, so if I can't see y'all names on here, just know that I appreciate y'all coming on and checking me out. Like I said, I ain't trying to offend nobody. Like, I ain't dressed up or nothing like that. I was gonna take a walk around this little lake over here, see if I can. I got so much glare going on over here. Let's see. I was gonna take a little walk around there, but shoot, man, it's hot enough to fry an egg out there. So that's a no. That's a no for me. I'll sit right here in this air conditioning, let y'all hear my bumpy air conditioning for a minute, because I ain't planning on being here long anyway. All right, wait a minute, let me look on here real quick. Nope, I can't look on there. I forgot. I ain't close to the house. But look, I can't see y'all names right now, and I didn't bring my glasses, and the other phone that I have, I forgot, is offline. So I'm out in the street. But listen, thank you to everybody that showed up for this live. Like I said, I didn't want to stay long, but listen, don't be upset and don't be distracted by this nonsense going on. Just try your best just to be as positive as you can. Understand that the devil is roaming, so the devil is going to use people. But we must stand up. We must pray. We must keep God in our hearts and fight against this evil that's going on around us, because you know, if we don't, it's going to destroy our world, you know. But I just wanted to touch on it. Listen, I'm not mad at nobody. If you don't, the whole point was about the Juneteenth. Like, if you really didn't know what it was, I'm not upset with you, because listen, I really wasn't sure about it myself. Like I said, I don't know if I learned it as a kid. I don't remember, but maybe a few years back, I started getting more knowledge about it. And if somebody didn't know, like, I'm not mad at them, but it's just the fact that those people were sitting and trying to make a joke talking about reparations. Y'all know daggone well there ain't been no reparations for no black people. So y'all, you know what? They was wrong for that. But anyway, but that's all I got. I can't give my shout outs today because I can't see nothing. But listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming and checking me out. And till the next time, as I say, love, peace, and blessings. All right? Period. I'll see y'all on the next one. I'll see y'all tonight.